you kind of always have your eyes in the sky.
Yeah, but not falling in the sky.
You wouldn't jump?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
You like to be on the ground looking up.
Yeah, it's fine. Like I'm not afraid to do things necessarily, but like I'm also not one of these thrill seekers who needs to do these things.
Sure.
So whatever. Like I don't mind flying.
And that wasn't just thrill seeking. That was an act of service.
I get thrills from learning about science and
Okay.
yes, looking up at the sky and seeing some cool things. In fact, there's something you can see in the sky tonight without binoculars or a telescope or anything, just with your bare naked eye. Maybe you need glasses, but still. One's the moon. You'll be able to see that. It's a full moon, and this time of year it's called the hunter's moon. Historically a signal to farmers that they're going to start to need to hunt animals, prepare for the winter, not to mention the bright moon bringing, some a little bit easier to see at night, so for this time of year with that full moon. So yes, it's the hunter's moon. Time to prepare for the chilly weather. Also, a little lanyard for you. Remember, lanyard means a little extra. Jupiter, that's right next to the moon. I said you can see that with the naked eye. Something you might need a telescope for is really not that far off, is Neptune, just to the right of Jupiter. So you've got the moon right here, and then you've got Jupiter, which looks like a bright star, and then, probably a little more faint, is Neptune. Maybe some of y'all out there in the real rural parts who don't have a lot of light pollution, maybe you can see it, but it is pretty chilly, and not going to be as chilly as it was this morning. We got down to 36 degrees this morning. That's 2 degrees warmer, quote-unquote, than where we were yesterday morning. So we've been slowly getting a little bit warmer, and that's really what it was like this afternoon, too. Temperatures actually got into the 60s today. Didn't hit the 60s yesterday. Got up to 64 in Dayton. Looks like everyone at least reached the 60s. No one quite reached the 70s, but that'll likely be different tomorrow. A few of you, maybe even about half of you, will reach the 70s, even if it's just for a brief moment. But we are slowly getting a little bit more mild into the rest of the week, a little bit more seasonable. And you can see temperatures now. Some of us are already in the 40s, but we're hanging on to 51 degrees still in Dayton. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, it's about 10 or 11 degrees warmer than where we were this time last night. So that warming trend is definitely here. Looking at some clear skies out there in downtown Springfield, 51 degrees like I mentioned in Dayton. Those winds have a little bit more of a southerly component to them as well. Yesterday there was a bit of a northerly component still, so it was still kind of cool, but that's why we're warming up. Winds out of the south-southwest around 8 miles per hour. Those winds driven by this area of high pressure, which, yes, is keeping our skies mostly clear, but the circulation around that high, it always goes clockwise, and so that's bringing some wind out of the southwest at the moment, and that's why it is a little bit warmer. And that's why temperatures won't drop as low tonight. One or two of you might actually drop into the upper 30s, but the majority of us will only reach the 40s. In fact, by 5 a.m., we're still looking at 46 degrees, so Dayton can expect to get down into the low 40s, and you can see even moving into tomorrow. We'll be in the 70s, albeit the low 70s, but still, it should feel a lot more comfortable, a little bit closer to seasonable for middle of October. Now, the wind speeds, again, not very strong, but they're out of the southwest, and that's a big reason why it's warmer. And what will be mostly clear, might be a few passing clouds, but nothing to really get in the way for too long if you plan on looking at the moon or Jupiter, or if you're lucky, Neptune. I don't have enough time to set that up to look at Neptune. Overall, Monday, looking pretty good too. Here's the 7-day forecast. You can see we do have the chance for a few showers, mainly late Wednesday. So it's not going to rain all day Wednesday or anything like that. Late Wednesday and then even into early Thursday, we'll see a few showers with a cold front, which will bring some cooler weather ahead. Make sure you tune in to News Center 7's Daybreak Edition, starting at 4:25. Meteorologist Kirsty Zalantini will have the latest to help you plan your day.
The iPhone 14's new crash detection feature is creating false alarms at Kings Island. It's apparently calling 911 from roller coaster riders.